Hello, Physio practice owners. If you want to know how to create an irresistible offer so new patients in your area choose your practice over the others, then this is the episode for you. Hello, and welcome to today's episode. It is called How to Craft Offers Patients Cannot Refuse. Now, one of the big things when it comes to physiotherapy and how it's growing is that people in general are seeing physiotherapy as a service that is valued more and more within the eyes of the people, right? And that's a good thing. That's a really, really good thing for the physiotherapy practice or physiotherapy industry in general across the world. It's a good thing. That means that we are making a bigger impact as physios in the general population and that the trend is going up. That's a really great thing. But the things that are, I guess, a disadvantage with that is with that impact, with that increased awareness and increased popularity and people wanting to come and see physios more, what that typically means is the number of physiotherapy practices is also going up, which again is a really good thing, all right? Because it just allows the physio industry, the physios, to have a bigger impact on the patients. I really believe physiotherapists in general, they are still massively undermined and undervalued for the great service that they give, the great improvement of quality of life that physios give to their patients is still massively underrated, unseen, and unappreciated. Having more patients, seeing and valuing physiotherapy more and having more practices overall is actually a great thing. If you have a lot of practices in your area that you're competing with, the most powerful way to get those new patients over to yours, over the others, is by creating an irresistible offer for your patients. What practice owners typically think of when I talk about a irresistible offer, all right, is literally just reducing the price. That's basically what they generally come up with, all right? That is not true. In fact, you should avoid playing the price war because the only way in a price war is down. You know, if you play that game, the only thing you can do is lower your prices. Keep lowering your prices up until it's free. Or maybe after the point is free, you might have to give money away to people to come and see you, right? The only way a price war can happen is it takes money out of your pocket. You should not think like that. If you want to be a great practice, especially moving forward, whether you're just starting out as a practice owner, whether you have multiple practices, the only way is start to think in how you can create more value. Having a conversation and having a focus on value really removes the price out of the conversation because the focus is creating more value. And for the right patients, this is going to be the one thing that's going to get them over to your practice rather than the price. Right? Really think about it. When you cared about something, a lot, last time you bought something, right? When you thought that I really need to get this one right? When you had that notion and when you bought something, did you care about price? Probably not, right? In this instance, for the physio practices, for the right patients, you're trying to get the new patients that are less sensitive to price, but more sensitive to value, right? Those are the patients that will help you grow your practice long term because not only they'll value your services because you're giving them more value, right? It allows you as a practice owner to generate more revenue and profits because you're generating more value. That demands that you can charge more. All of a sudden, price becomes, it's removed from being a factor, right? All great businesses think in terms of value, right? That must be the first part of the conversation. Okay, remove the price wars, right? So lowering the price is not necessarily giving more value. Think about, try and get into the active habit from now on. How can I bring more value? All right, that should be the key conversation. So how do you create value? How do you go ahead and go, so all these patients that I have, how can I create more value? Well, it comes down to understanding the value equation or the value formula. Okay. Now, there's 4 main components to it. All right, let me run you through them. So value equals to dream outcome. So let's just say their dream outcome is becoming pain-free at work. It could be getting back to football in 6 months' time. Whatever the dream outcome is, all right, whatever they really want to achieve, that's the dream outcome. All right. So dream outcome multiplied by the perceived likelihood of achievement. So perceived likelihood of achievement, meaning how confident is your patient in knowing that they can get to their dream outcome with you. Perceived likelihood of achievement. So the value equals dream outcome multiplied by perceived likelihood of achievement, all divided by time delay. How fast can you get the new patient to their dream outcome, multiplied by the effort and sacrifice that they need to spend in getting to their dream outcome. That's it. That's literally the value formula. All right. Now, if you don't know effort and sacrifice, hang with me. All right. I'll explain exactly as to what each of these components mean for your physio practice and what to adjust and what to have a look at. So let me just say this again. Value formula equals to dream outcome multiplied by perceived likelihood of achievement, all divided by time delay multiplied by effort and sacrifice. Right? Now, before I go any further, one of the biggest secrets when it comes to creating a lot of value for your patients is working on the bottom half of the equation. Right? The biggest companies in the world, they tend to focus on the biggest half of the equation. They try to get time delay and effort and sacrifice as close to zero as possible. Right? Think about it. People want something, they want to achieve something faster with a lot less effort and sacrifice. Now, sacrifice is generally a resource. All right? It could be time, it could be money, it could be any other sort of resource. So, including the effort, the actual energy they need to put in to achieve the dream outcome. If you had to focus on anywhere in this equation, focus on how to get to zero in time it takes to get to the dream outcome and the amount of effort and sacrifice. Have a look at the biggest companies, right? I'll pick an example. Netflix, for example. When they came out, one of the biggest things that they did is they wanted to make accessibility to movies extremely easy to do. All you had to do was sign up and put your credit card details in. Okay? The effort in was very, very low. And typically the subscription prices was pretty affordable. So the effort and sacrifice was, very low. And if you think about how quickly you can do that in an instant. You sign up, bang, you have access to their catalog, which means the time delay is almost zero, right? So the biggest companies in the world, and you need to adopt this for your physio practice as well, try and get time delay and effort and sacrifice towards zero. That's what you really, really want. Okay? That's the biggest thing. So keep the value equation in mind, and knowing that the bottom half of the equation is what you really, really need to work on. You've got to get really clear on your avatar, on your patient avatar. Who is it that you're trying to attract? You've got to consider everything about this person. What's their age? Are they married? What kind of job do they have? What kind of hobbies? What kind of life goals do they have? What music do they listen to? How many kids do they have? What do their kids do? What's their daily activities look like? When do they wake up? When do they go to sleep? All right? Get it really, really specific about this person. It's like, just think of it like your spouse, right? You're trying to get to really know him or her, all right, in all their detail, what their personality is like, everything. So treat the customer avatar, your patient avatar, exactly the same. Because if you don't, you're going to create the wrong offers that are not relevant. If you create an offer, it needs to appeal to a certain market so it has the biggest effect. If you just put out a general offer, that is not going to appeal to everyone. So this is where it's important to sort of hone down on a particular avatar and really spend a lot of time getting to know who they are. So that way you can create the offers around them. It's extremely important. Only once you know the exact avatar, then go back to the value equation and let's have a look at how to change those things around. That's the biggest thing. Okay, so let's go through a few things. What does a dream outcome look like for a physio patient? This is what a typical patient may want in your practice. Achieve pain-free daily activity. It could be work or sport or whatever it is. Return to competitive sport. Maintain mobility in senior years. Complete physical challenges post-recovery. Avoid surgery through effective treatment. Obviously, these is just 5 of them. There's going to be heaps more. You need to find out what the dream outcome or dream outcomes for your patient avatar is. Write them down. Write a list of what they really want to do. That'll make it really clear as to how you can tailor and modify your service for that patient avatar. So what are some examples of perceived likelihood of achievement? How can you create a sense of certainty in them that you are going to get them to their dream goal? How can you do that? Well, one of the best ways you can do that is you can show credentials and specializations. For example, if you are a sports physio, all right, one of the biggest ways is you can literally, if you're working with some big sports clubs, right, major sports clubs, having association with them and letting them know that will signal to them that these guys are really good at sports physiotherapy. All right, that's a credential and specialization, by association, right? Or it could be a specialization. It could be you are certified in sports physiotherapy, one of the big bodies or something like that. All right. So showing authority around them will give you a bigger perceived likelihood of achievement, right? Patient testimonials and success rates. So this is where the Google reviews or any sort of reviews, actual legitimate patient reviews will come in. Okay. So showing, it's important in a lot of medical bodies around the world. You can't promise a patient what they will get because somebody else got it. You can't do that. That's unethical in some countries, right? But what you've got to get right is show that someone else or a lot of people have achieved what your avatar is trying to achieve. Showing that gives them more confidence that you can do the same for them. Before and after case studies. So you can have literally a video testimonial on, let's just say somebody coming, with an injury that stopped them playing football, and you can sort of have a video testimonial on they go back to football within a certain amount of time. All right, things like that. That could be visual, that could be text, it could be images, just before and after study. All right, virtual facility tours. All right, because for example, let's just say some areas of treatment, let's just stay with sport, right? You might need to have a rehab space. High-level sports athletes know that, right? If you paint them a picture of your facility, you take them around your facility and you show them that you have a rehab center, weight center, whatever that is you need to get them to that next place, it's signaling to them that you have the tools necessary to get that person to their dream outcome, all right? So showing tools is one of the ways of doing is virtual facility tours, right? The last one I have here is free initial assessment, okay? So this is where you can bring them in, right? You can have a guarantee around them. I'll just share with you later on, right? You can literally say, we'll give you confidence that you can get to your dream goal within the first appointment, or we don't charge you for it, or something like that, all right? That way, you're giving them a lot of confidence that if I'm going to take a chance on this practice, I know with a reasonable amount of confidence, the confidence that I need, that this practice can deliver the result or the dream outcome. All right. So remember, now we move into the bottom half of the equation, reducing time delays. How are some of the things you can do that? Right. Now, same day appointments is a big thing. If somebody wants to get some treatment right away, same day appointments or a guarantee around that. or a compensation if they don't, right? Advanced diagnostic tool, because if you have a tool that can do a lot of thinking, analyzing for to form an opinion or a treatment part, what are they, right? Instead of just, let's just say, for example, if you're doing a gait analysis, you can do it by eye, which is great. It still works, but maybe you have some other tool in your practice that really gets down to a lot of detail to show you exactly what's happening more than the naked eye can see, right? So think a tool that really tells the patient that you're going to get to the bottom of things very, very fast to get to the dream outcome, all right? Combination therapy option. It could be that your whatever the patient might need, physio, chiro, massage therapy at the same time, and you have those options, and they all work with each other to get that patient the dream outcome in the fastest possible time. All right. At-home treatment plans. So driving or commuting to and from the practice can chew time. So maybe one of the ways you can reduce time delay is that you can prescribe treatment plans that can be done at home, which will eliminate the amount of time that they'll need to spend getting better. And fast communication. Nobody likes to be held waiting when they want to know something. If a patient has a question about the treatment plan or recovery, there's a fast communication channel. You can say, we will respond within an hour or whatever that is. Very, very fast. Doing all these things signals to the patient that they're reducing the time delay. All right. So remember, this is one of the variables that you need to try and get towards zero, the most valuable one, bottom half of the equation, right? Now, the other part is minimizing effort and sacrifice. So people don't want to spend money, time, effort getting the result, unfortunately, right? And people are going to keep going in that trend. So ask yourself, this is all about minimizing effort and sacrifice. Right? Effort is literally just the resources, a person's energy. But another sense of sacrifice is a resource. Time and money are types of resources. Right? So how can you minimize the effort and sacrifice? Pricing. All right. Now, I know we talked about we don't want to minimize the price, right? But maybe what you can do is make sure that you drive so much value that you can get treatment done in a much shorter amount of time, right? Which will affect the time and the money, right? Because you're so good at what you do, you can get it done cheaper and faster. This is why we talked about number of treatments. Maybe this is something that your patients are really looking for, number of treatments. At-home number of exercise. Some patients out there, they get, 15, 20, 30 exercises to go do at home. If you really think about it, that is a lot of effort and time spent on the patient's behalf. So maybe getting down to 2 or 3, or maybe even less, right? One key exercise for them to do is going to minimize the amount of effort and time that they have to put in, right? So it's basically all about reducing the effort on the patient's end. Think like that. There's a saying of what energy do you put in to get the energy out. In this case, the energy out is the dream outcome you want, right? Think about how to reduce the amount of energy they are putting in, right? And another way is less effort to attend the appointments. Now, what I mean by this is, let's just say your avatar is a mum who has 2 kids between the ages of 5 and 10, right? Now, for them to come to the practice, they need to have somebody to look after their kids. They need to lug their kids around, all that kind of thing. Maybe in your practice, there is a play area or there's some activities for those kids. So the mum doesn't have to worry about it. They can bring the patients, so bring the kids to the practice, and your practice looks after them for you. All right. It's creating them less effort on their end. This is a big in terms of minimizing the effort and sacrifice for your patients. So those are the last 2 in the bottom half of the equation. Really focus on, if anything, out of the value equation, focus on the bottom 2, getting them to 0 as possible. All right. So next, we're going to talk about the types of guarantees that you can create. All right. There's 2 main types of guarantees. The first one is called the unconditional guarantee, where it's basically, there are no conditions. I'll give you the formula for it, but it's basically a money back guarantee. done correctly and written correctly, that's an unconditional guarantee. A conditional guarantee is you have to meet a certain condition first under specific conditions for you to get the guarantee. Now, I know that sounds a bit confusing, but let me go through it. I'll show you the formulas behind these. All right. So here's a formula that you can use in your practice starting today in creating an unconditional guarantee. Here it is. So the unconditional guarantee formula is if specific outcome isn't achieved within the resource, receive compensation. All right. For example, right, specific outcome could be 100% satisfaction. All right. Resource could be the appointment, money and the time that they spend for it, receive full money back guarantee. All right. So the specific outcome in this case is 100% satisfaction. The resource is within the time and the money that they've spent, receive money back guarantee. So it'll read something like, if you're not 100% satisfied with your resource appointment, receive 100% money back. No questions asked. That's the compensation. All right. But that's a formula that you can follow to create unconditional guarantees. What's a conditional guarantee formula? Let me read that to you first again. If you don't, specific outcome with condition, we provide compensation, right? So the variables are specific outcome, condition, and the compensation, all right? For example, let's just say, if you don't get back to sport within 3 weeks, we will provide a full refund, all right? Or free treatment until you do. That's the compensation. So the specific outcome is, in this case, is getting back to sport, right? Condition mean within this time frame, right? Or money spent, time frame, that's the condition. We provide compensation, money back, or we'll keep treating until you're back to sport for free, all right? So that is a conditional guarantee formula. Now, the most powerful one out of the two, out of the unconditional, as you can see, the simplest one and the most powerful one is the unconditional one, because there's nothing that the patient has to do. It's strongest when the effort that is required to exercise the guarantee is also low. All right. So, for example, the money back guarantees are very, very strong. Okay. So those are some formulas you can use to create the guarantees. All right. The next thing is, once you have a guarantee, you got to name the guarantee. It makes it easier to market it and makes it more memorable for people and easier to understand. All right. Now, when you're naming a guarantee, its aim is to highlight the benefit for the patient. All right. It makes it very, very easy for them to understand, for them to remember, which makes you a more attractive practice as well, right? Because it's just easier to process and digest as to what this guarantee is all about. I'll give you an example, right? The recovery roadmap is a name of a guarantee, right? The guarantee could be something like, if you don't receive an exact plan to get to your, dream outcome, we'll give you your money back or whatever it is. It's called the recovery roadmap guarantee, right? Another name is called the pain-free promise. If you're not pain-free, or if you don't find a noticeable improvement by a certain amount of time, let's just say, right, you get whatever compensation. That's a pain-free promise, or a pain-free guarantee. What you want to do is have the word that represent a guarantee in the name. So you want to have the word promise or a guarantee in there. Just makes it a lot more attractive, and you can market it a lot more as well. All right. So let's talk about the biggest things out of what we talked about today, right? The number one thing is forget about price. That's the war that you're going to lose. Focus on the value that you're giving your patients. Focus on the value rather than the price. All right. Get really clear on your exact patient avatar. Get really, really clear on that. Clearer you are on that, the better offers you can come up with for that particular avatar. Okay. And then you've got to have a look at the value equation. Remember, dream outcome multiplied by the perceived likelihood of outcome, right? Or divided by time delay multiplied by effort and sacrifice. Focus first on getting the bottom half of the equation to 0. So think about how you can minimize the time delay in getting your patient to the dream outcome. Focus on the amount of effort and the money and the time they have to spend to get your patient to the dream outcome. Focus on those two first, because that's what will drive the biggest value. Then focus on, the perceived likelihood and the dream outcome, getting that really, really right. Okay. Then after you've done that, remember, you've got to name your guarantee and name your offer and have the word either promise or guarantee in it to make it easier to understand, to have a stronger impact on your patient. All right. And it allows you to market it really, really well, because it's going to be a very strong marketing message. All right. So name your guarantee. And once you've done that, get this out into your local community. Market the living daylights out of it. All right. Get it out there. Get it really in front of your actual avatar, because it's going to speak directly to them. One message is all you need to get that patient over and increase the chances of that. Okay. I hope that was useful, right? And that's a really great way to make sure that you are unique. You are the practice in your area for your avatar. Very crucial. Make a commitment to put this into your practice today, because this will be the one single message that will really take your practice to that next level. All right. So if you found that useful, there's lots of videos like this, lots of articles that will really help you scale your practice to $1 million, $2 million, and $3 million and beyond per year. All right. Go to our website, physiomarketing.co. That's .co. Like I said, there's heaps of articles, things like that. If you want to book a call and see how we can help you grow your practice as well, there's an option up there in the top right-hand corner. Book a call. Thanks for being here, and I'll chat to you next time.